Relationship advice. My 25F grandparents walked in on me getting spanked by my boyfriend, 28M. I was raised by my grandparents and gave them a key to my place for emergencies. Well, my grandma gets really worried if you don't reply to her texts in an hour. This specific day was the first day I saw my boyfriend in weeks because he had to go abroad for work and we wanted a bit of alone time. We put our phones on silent so we wouldn't be disturbed. Apparently my grandma wanted me to pick something up for her and got worried when I didn't pick up the phone or respond to her messages for a few hours. She decided to come over to my apartment with my grandpa since she was worried and use the emergency key. When they walked in I was splayed over my boyfriend's lap and we were both buck naked. Since we are the only people that live in the apartment, we do whatever we want wherever we want. This time, on the couch. Which meant that my boyfriend's hand hovering over my bare ass was the first thing my grandparents saw when they walked in. I've never seen two people back out of an apartment so quickly in my life. My grandma still giggles nervously when she talks to me and my grandpa won't make eye contact with me when we FaceTime. How do I make this less awkward? A talk about my sexual preferences is not one that I want to have with the people that raised me. It's their fault for barging in after a couple hours, although it's good that your grandma giggles about it, which I couldn't help but find cute. Just be frank with them. Hey grandparents, that thing that happened was awkward, wasn't it? In future can we say that no one comes round to the apartment to check on me unless it's been at least 24 hours of no contact? Most people wouldn't panic after a couple hours of no response cause they understand I'm an adult and living my life. It is a pretty good idea. Maybe if they wanna check on you, instead of using the key right away, ring bell twice and knock hard once. It's really their fault for assuming that a grown adult was somehow in peril after not answering their phone for a while. And I had to LOL at your grandma giggling. Grandma was probably into the same thing and happy to see it made it another generation. Every generation thinks they invented kinky sex. Art's granny been getting spanked since the Nixon administration. Guys, please, as far as I am concerned, my grandparents had sex 5 times. Once for each child. That's it. And my grandma sent a picture this morning of me taking off my diaper when I was a toddler. She captioned it, "You've always liked to be free." I don't know whether I want to laugh or to cry. How do I make this less awkward? You don't. You let them learn a lesson about boundaries. They'll get over it in time. But you've done nothing wrong here, so don't act as though you have. They'll get over it eventually. They probably realize that it's their own fault that they saw what they did, and that's why they're embarrassed. I think the fastest way to move on would be to talk about it instead of try to pretend that it never happened. I would joke, at least the next time I don't pick up, you don't have to worry. You know what's going on. They've got to realize that you're a human being, and you're an adult. And it's reasons like that you should always knock before entering someone's space. Will be traumatized for the rest. Bahahaha. Welp. Guess they'll learn not to do that again. Exactly. Similar thing happens to me a couple of years after my divorce. My parents had no idea I was dating. Because non-marital sex is for some reason the worst thing in the world to them. And that was the only reason I was dating. To be honest. Until the Saturday that my kids were at their dad's and my mom decided to drop off some cookies unannounced. To be fair, she knew the specific door that was always left unlocked, because she would meet the kids there after school sometimes when I couldn't get off work in time. So it never occurred to her that she shouldn't just walk in. Well, she knows now. How do I make this less awkward? Why would you want to? It's hilarious. Bring it up at every Thanksgiving. It's not Thanksgiving with my family until Grandma Bobby talks about being so bored she has nothing to do but play with her. What? She has a cat. Every single year. The woman is in her 90s. I will be so ducking sad the first time I experience a Thanksgiving without that joke. First of all, this is hilarious. Secondly, if you don't want to talk to them about it, then give it time. Time heals all wounds. Just act natural with them like you always did. Meantime, I am laughing my head off and I'm sure they did too. What wound? Her grandpa literally had to bust her all over and inside Granny for any of this to be possible. This is just minor embarrassment. I walked downstairs on acid when I was 16 at 4:30 in the morning and my grandparents, Late 70s. Were getting it on the couch. I thought I was hallucinating, so I went and got my cousin Amanda, and she walked down the stairs and loudly screamed when she seen them. My grandparents scrambled. It was the most surreal thing I think that's ever happened to me. It was horrifying. I think my acid-addled brain just couldn't believe it at first, so I had to get my cousin to make sure. Oh my god. I died laughing from reading this. Why in God's name would you talk to your grandparents about what kind of sex you like? Come on. Just leave it alone. Old people are a lot more chill about sex than young people give them credit for. It doesn't sound like they're mad or disturbed. You said your grandma is giggling. Because this is a totally normal embarrassing situation that people get into. There's no need to talk about it with them. Let the awkwardness run its course. It's fine. Exactly. What would the point of that be? They're not stupid. They figured it out 2 seconds after they walked in what you were up to. Frankly, it would be weird to talk about what sexual kinks you're into. Old GF's grandmother came by unannounced one day, just opened the sliding door while talking and walked into an eyeful of her granddaughter going down on me in the living room. I locked eyes with her and just started laughing. She turned right around and never came over without calling or knocking again. Turned bright red whenever she saw me for about a year though. It is what it is. They should have knocked. Funny story. My sister-in-law is very into crafts. She made my mom a lamp for her nightstand one year for Christmas. I came over and my mom wanted to show me the lamp, so we went into her room and there was the lamp, along with a Viban tube of KY. This is how the conversation went. Mom, how do you like the lamp sister-in-law made? Me, the lamp is nice, but I am too distracted by the Viban tube of KY. Mom, well, I am human after all. And we both just bust out in pure laughter. It will pass lol. My brother and dad walked in on me masturbating when I was like 12 and I thought I was going to die. Literally die. Just remember that they have a sex life too. It's a normal part of being human. I am positive they aren't judging you. It will just take some time for the awkwardness to pass. Hang in there. Look, you're 25 and still have grandparents around. Just be happy about it and don't let the awkwardness rob you of time with them. Yeah, it's awkward and kinda funny, but just make a joke out of it or something and carry on with life. Plus, entirely their fault. It had been a couple of hours FFS, not days. Plus, who just uses an emergency key? Knock first, what the duck? Seriously. Could be a lot worse. I saw a post some years ago about a woman going to town on herself while watching yaoi, male on male anime, porn, and her dad walked in. That would have killed me on the spot. Not that it's anything to be ashamed per se, but not many parents would understand or be okay with it. For OP, this is so harmless.